Well, with the difficulties I've been having with that clone bracelet, finally went out yesterday and purchased the legitimate Apple Link Bracelet. And yes, it's pricey. And here I'm just showing that transition area with this is now the clone bracelet. You can kind of see where that machining is for the rubber friction pieces. This is a comparison of the two bands. The clone is the right and the original is on the left there. And the finish, at least in person, is noticeably nicer on the original, of course, but the clone is not bad. I actually think it looks amazingly good for being a copy. Clasp is a little bit smoother on the Apple One, and the actual mechanism of opening and closing that is smoother. And here you can see a little bit more play, mechanical slop there on the right clone. The thing about the original Apple One is that fitting to the watch case itself, it's a little more exact, so that radius that matches the watch casing itself is just a little bit smoother, matches a little bit nicer, and the fit into the case is noticeably a little nicer. Showing the clasp mechanism, and I have to say the clone is a pretty faithful duplication of the original. Every piece seems to function in a similar fashion as the original Apple one. It's just essentially poor quality, I think. And that's probably the one distinguishing feature of the Apple one is the marking on the butterfly clasp there. So far, I've not seen a copy with that same etching in there. The machining is a little cleaner on the clasp, and in addition, the small push button to adjust the links is definitely a little bit smoother finish. It's also chamfered, so that little oval or pill-shaped button edges are all chamfered on the original versus the copy, the clone. And here, just showing some close-ups and some comparisons of the link itself, or the adjustable links, which I think is the most problematic on the clone. Ultimately, if the links didn't fail on the clone for me, I'd be pretty happy with it. I'd be actually very happy with it for the price. And comparison, clone on the right and original on the left. So the thickness is pretty similar. The edges, especially on the original Apple one, are definitely a little more clean and a little more square. But again, not bad on the clone. I actually think it kind of comes out in the video. You can see that the Apple one is a little bit cleaner in all those small details. Now here is probably the most critical feature, and here I'm trying to show how the spring metal that rests inside there. So this is the catch, or the latch that holds the pieces together. And on the clone, you can see that slight flex of the piece. And then on the original, to do the same thing here, actually see that entire piece of steel moves a little bit more uniformly. I think that steel is a bit stiffer. I certainly think it's a stronger material, but This is kind of one indicator that you see that bow, and then on the original you're going to see that piece almost lift up as an entire flat plane. And the clone links do actually to click into and match up to the original authentic band and vice versa.